Happy holidays, everybody, and goodwill toward... Oh my god.
A present for me? Oh, it's a gift from Santa.
Dear Random, I heard you hated Mario Luigi Brothership, so I'm giving you a game you won't forget. Enjoy it, Mr. Clean. Sincerely, Santa Claus.
Oh, it's a threat from Santa. Well, how bad of a game could it be anyways?
The Grinch.
The original party pooper, first introduced by Dr. Seuss in the classic book How the Grinch Stole Christmas in 1957, is a name you probably hear about every year. You know, the guy who tries to take the magic out of Christmas and ends up with an enlarged heart condition as a result. Gotta lay off all that roasted beast, my guy. While many people grew up reading the children's book or watching the cartoon, I watched a live-action Grinch in theaters as a kid, which I kind of loved. Jim Carrey's Grinch is like a fuzzy green giant doing a Sean Connery impression. Then there are people that watched Illumination's Grinch from 2018. I feel sorry for them. And while there are a decent number of iterations of the Grinch, there were also several video games of the Grinch, especially around the time of the Jim Carrey movie. But who would have guessed in 2023, the same year as Pikmin 4, Mario Bros. Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom, we would get the perfection that is the Grinch Christmas Adventure. It's the complete telling of how the Grinch stole Christmas in video game form. That's what we needed, right? What could possibly go wrong? I was always perplexed when I'd see this game in stores. Why did we need a Grinch game in 2023 when the last movie was released 7 years ago? Did I miss something? Well, 'tis the season for holly jolly horrible Switch games, so let's take a look. Will my heart grow 3 sizes after playing this game, or is this the story of how the Grinch stole my wallet? Let's find out. You open up the game and, oh look, actual postcards. Huh, these look like hand drawings of the Grinch. Apparently, this is some of Dr. Seuss's original concept art for the Green Grouch before it was published. That's actually pretty cool. You know what? I'll give you a point for that one. We start the game on the title screen, looking over the city of Whoville covered in snow. Once we select the game, the camera pans out and we see the Grinch and Max on the mountain staring down at the Whos. God, the Grinch looks ugly. Yes, I know he's supposed to, but it really doesn't translate that well here. And Max looks like he's glitching a bit. Do you need to go out for a bit, boy? No, Grinch. No, please, no, it's not worth it. No, Grinch, no. No. Oh, he's alive. That's cool. You start the game with a narration from the book. Literally showing the book, the game retells the story word for word. Only with a narrator that sounds so peppy and makes the guy who does Nintendo Directs sound depressing.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not.
He does an okay job, but he's certainly no Boris Karloff. Fun fact, did you know that the Grinch and the narrator in the original was voiced by Frankenstein? Yeah, he's just reading the book. We have a library that can do that, right? Or the internet. Can we fast forward a bit? I don't know. That's what I asked for. Fast forward. I didn't actually mean... What? Sure, it's funny, but why? Why not just skip it? And here's the level select, where the Grinch is just sitting here, staring down at the levels. I don't like the way he's looking like that. You wouldn't want him looking at kids in Santa's lap like that. Man, the Grinch really doesn't look good in this game. Even when he's supposed to be gross, there's still a charm to him. Here, he just looks cheap and rushed. Almost as if this game was made for kids to make a quick buck. What? I thought he just looked bad, but he sounds even worse. Yeah, let me just say, if you heard that noise behind a closed door, you go around collecting presents that are just littered on the ground. How did they get in his lair anyway? Isn't that like an arachnophobe having a pet tarantula? You also collect these puzzle pieces. Okay, is this Banjo-Kazooie now? You mostly go through the game in these side-scrolling sections, while avoiding all sorts of obstacles. Swinging giant Christmas ornament balls, spiders, toy soldiers, Christmas stockings, music notes, the music notes kill you, and of course, spikes. Your heart on the top left is not only 2 sizes too small, but it also gives you 2 hits. Once you get hit enough times, you're dead. And in case you can't tell, every time you die, you hear this music. Every single time. You continue to collect presents and find random puzzle pieces throughout each level. It's very Christmas forward, having bells as checkpoints and Christmas-themed enemies. It's what you expect from the Grinch, but it also makes it predictable. There are moments, though, where you team up with your dog Max, and you can even switch with him at certain points to access areas the Grinch cannot. It's not only a decent way to vary up the gameplay, but it also adds co-op to the game. Yes, if you want to torment a friend, they can play as Max as you play as the Grinch.
You want to play the Grinch with me, Rory? I didn't think so.
The side-scrolling levels get very repetitive. You do your best to avoid the wacky things, but I'm sorry, it's just so boring. The backgrounds do change a little bit. There's the Grinch's lair, the mountain, some mountain paths, and then Whoville. That's it. Talk about recycling. And speaking of recycling, the music is the same regardless of the area, using the 2 songs over and over for each level, with very few exceptions where sometimes it's just silence. That's fine. I needed a break from all the noise. It all comes across as cutting corners to save a buck. And the sound design gets no points here either, constantly reusing sounds from the Grinch and enemies. It's really annoying. And the narrator not only giving you tutorial stuff, but also talks in rhyme most of the time. I know it's probably meant to be clever, but it gets old real quick. But it's not just side-scrolling, oh no. For the Grinch Christmas Adventures, we have something that every kid's game should have. Stealth mechanics. I mean, a stealth game about the Grinch does make some sense if you think about it. He's the original Christmas thief. The potential here is amazing if it's done right. Too bad it wasn't! You go through the house of sentient gingerbread men. Gingy, why are you in this game? Not my gumdrop, but... Like, eventually you get to the house of the Who's, which makes sense. But why a sentient gingerbread man? I don't remember them being any sentient gingerbread men in the movies or books. Is Shrek going to make a cameo appearance too? I know the list of Christmas enemies is slim pickings, but come on, game. Whether it be the Who's or living cookies, you have to avoid their gaze as you take a hit if they run into you. And if you run out of health, they do the worst thing they could ever do to a Grinch. Give you a hug. An introvert's worst nightmare. You can avoid the Who's by hiding in certain spots, be it under the table, under the beds, or hiding in the closet. To be fair, the visuals are pretty fun. I like how the Grinch's eyes just pop out of the closet like that. It gets a pass for me. It seems like a fun idea for a mechanic on paper, but it's super easy to avoid them, as all it takes is just hiding under the table for them to completely forget about you. Imagine if there was legit stealth mechanics, where they would actually notice if you hid somewhere and would look in certain places. You could even use that co-op gameplay with Max, using him as a distraction for the Who's, leaving Grinch to escape and collect more presents. It would have been so cool, but they did nothing with this game. They don't even look at you as they stare with their unblinking, creepy eyes. I've literally ran close to them and then hid under the table repeatedly, and they lose me every time.
Where'd she go? She must have gone back up the stairs. Wait a second. You get back here, little lady. Where'd she go?
The only hint of difficulty increase is if they chase you, they get faster the longer they're on your tail. These gingerbreads and who's really want to greet a random stranger who breaks into their house and steals their stuff. They're so hospitable. You finish the level and Grinch does a dance and Max just sits there licking his ball. And it shows how many puzzle pieces and presents you collected. And that's a typical level in the Grinch's Christmas Adventure. But what are the puzzle pieces used for? Well, after you gather enough, they'll unlock certain abilities. But not before you play a stupid puzzle game! Remember Bottle's puzzle game from Banjo-Kazooie, where you try to assemble the pieces in a certain time limit? It had bright colors. It's a good mix of goofy, fun, and challenging. Take everything cool about that, destroy it, and you get the puzzles from the Grinch Christmas Adventure. You just slowly and tediously put each puzzle together and nothing more. There's no challenge either. It's like drinking through a broken bendy straw. You'll get it all eventually, but there's no satisfaction, just frustration. Even moving the pieces is aggravating because there's a bit of a delay where it feels like you're dragging each piece to where it belongs. I can't really describe it unless you play it for yourself, which don't. Not to mention, as you get more and more puzzles, they require more and more pieces, making things take even longer. Why would they do this? It truly leaves me quite puzzled. At least finishing these puzzles gives you upgrades. Whether it's cosmetics like slowly unlocking the Grinch's Santa suit, health upgrades where your heart does indeed get bigger, I knew it wasn't because of kindness, or gameplay mechanics like
Jump from the rope to candy cane lasso.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Jump from the rope to candy cane lasso.
I'm gonna need you to repeat that again.
Jump from the rope to jump from the rope to jump from the rope to
Candy cane lasso.
The lasso isn't the only thing you unlock. There's also snowballs, a double jump, a jetpack. A what? You can also unlock things like a snowboard and a sleigh. Things you do need to unlock to get through the game, to have levels where, yes, you use a snowboard and a sleigh to find more puzzle pieces. It's a never-ending cycle. This is nearly every level in the game. Side-scrolling Grinch, breaking into houses, avoiding giant ornaments, hiding in the closet, candy cane lasso, getting a hug from a who, back to back to back to back to back until you beat the level for nearly 18 levels straight. It's very simple, and while that's not inherently a bad thing, the way this game goes about it just feels like the least amount of effort possible was put in. Like they rushed it to get a Christmas buck. This is the commercialism the Grinch despised! There are so many glitches and unintentional errors in this game. The amount of times I've seen the Grinch clip into things like spikes or snow during a game over is just astounding. They really didn't try. Oh, did I mention this game is $40?
Run, Grinch, run! Or the Christmas ball will crush you!
Oh god! It gets very annoying with these game overs too. Like, I'm really glad it's forgiving and just sends you off to the last checkpoint, but jumping is awkward and clunky because of the game's glitches. I'm able to get it done, but it's just going through the motions at this point. It's not quite as bad as Rise of Kong, but it's still just boring. I didn't crack so much of a smile during this, and I found myself just pushing through to what happens when I get to the end. So, what does happen? Well, you know the story. Or maybe you don't because you can't hear it through the chipmunk noise. But Grinch has a change of heart and decides to return everything he stole, except the time he took from me. This means throwing presents at random houses. I remember in the book where Grinch just threw boxes at houses, and hoped for the best. Ah, yes, so that's how Grandma got shaving cream for Christmas. You do this until you run out of presents and complete the level. How does the game end? It doesn't. It just takes you back to the level select. What? Oh, I see. You need to collect all the puzzle pieces of every level to unlock the feast, and then you can get the ending. Too bad Whoville is gonna starve. This game is so bad, it makes me want to steal Christmas. It's shovelware of the highest caliber. Truly a rushed project to cash in on the holiday craze. It's boring, glitchy, repetitive, and an overall mess that is not worth the $40 price tag. The weird thing is that it does have some effort put into it, and it features a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff in the extras. Someone in this game does care, but even so, do not get this game. Not even as a stocking stuffer, even if you get it cheaper. It's not worth it, and no child wants to see that under their tree this year. This game is truly something I cannot stand in the least. But why? Why would this game exist? It's almost like it wanted to be bad. Wait a minute. This wasn't sent by Santa. This was sent by the Grinch. That's why he made this game, to ruin Christmas, steal my money, and promote a podcast. Apparently the last one's actually true.
And it happened while in Whoville, they say. That random's wallet shrank 3 sizes that day.
I gotta tell someone. I gotta tell the world. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and check out my other videos too. Special thanks to all the people who helped me out with the video. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Also an extra special thanks to my Patreon patrons, including Mantelferox and Savacom. If you'd like to join the Patreon, the link is in the description below, along with my Blue Sky, Twitch, and Instagram. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good night.